To access all full body language breakdown videos in entirety, hours upon hours, click the link in the description to take you through to the Patreon. Thanks.
Everyday Superpower, where we talk body language, relationships, game, everything in between. We're continuing on with this video, exposure of secrets. Yeah, will these guilty secrets tear them apart? We got 3 different couples on here. 2 of them in a relationship, one of them being flatmates. We're about to delve into the communication of the 2 flatmates. What's something you're proud of that not many people know about? The more mature of the 2 is going to present to the lady who's been creating adult films in their shared accommodation without her knowing. She's going to expose this on the program to her, which is crazy because we're now going to get into the mind of a woman who creates adult films, sells her body for peanuts on the internet, right? And we're going to ask her, what are you proud of that not many people know about? This could create incredible depth, or this could showcase a complete lack of depth, right? Could this be a soulless individual, or could we go into the depths of the person and the child within that adult who just wants to be seen, who just wants to be heard, who just wants to be celebrated, who just wants to express themselves and garner the reception from that which never was, all right? If you're joining me just now, I'm putting you on game. Enjoy the entertainment. Watch from start to finish. You're going to pick up some good stuff, but if you really want to understand the full depth of what we discuss on this channel, the playlist to start this series is in the comment section. Yeah, click on that. Let's go.
I'm at loss. I don't know where it's going to go.
What's something you're proud of that not many people know about?
By the way, some esoteric spiritual game here. Pride, speaking of what are you proud of, is the most dangerous of the 7 deadly sins. Right? Why do they parade about being proud? Right? Why do they subvert the rainbow flag, which is a natural occurrence of colours, as each colour represents a particular vibration, right? So it goes in order of low vibration to high vibration. Why do they subvert those colours and have you celebrate the deadliest of the 7 deadly sins? We're going to go schizo. I'm not making any accusations or any bold statements here. I'm just creating open discussion to open your mind, right? What's the value of 7 whilst we're at it? 7 days of the week, the 7 classical planets, the 7 chakras, right? The 7 notes of a scale. What we talking about?
Is there like anything you can think of like from your past that you've had?
She resorts to teacher archetype, right? This woman approaches as this open-minded representation of the teacher to the child across the table to her, all right?
Is there like anything?
What's something you're proud of that not many people know about? Now, we as men, given that we apply ourselves appropriately, should understand the uphill struggle and battle we experience while making something of ourselves, while chipping away at ourselves and sculpting ourselves from nothing to something, from alchemicalizing the lead to gold in ourselves, in our inner selves, in our manifestation of outer self. For a man, this should be an easy question to respond to. I'm proud of what I'm doing and where I'm going and what I've invested and what I get through, right? Because generally speaking, we ruin our potential of manifestation of material possession, given we constantly blurt it out. Oh, I'm doing this. Oh, I'm doing that. Oh, I'm going to create this. I'm going to shoulda, woulda, coulda. We all know someone who just talks and doesn't take action, but those who are actively creating in this world and not consuming, they understand that if they were to blurt out each and every moment of the day what they're doing and where they're going and what they're thinking, they're not going to end up doing anything, whereas they just get it done, okay?
Not many people know about. Is there like anything you can think?
Like, you should not struggle to think about what you're proud of, what people generally don't know of you, right? You should not struggle at this question. And I'm speaking to the men. Yeah, for these women, it might be different. But for a man, you should have self-awareness of who you are, of what makes you stand tall and proud, all right?
Of like from your past.
You know, and contrary to what I referenced as far as pride being dangerous, it comes before the fall, right? But, you know, it's all up for interpretation.
That you've had to overcome?
Oh my god, a lot.
Yeah.
I don't want to trauma dump right now.
Trauma dump. It's crazy. These women who perform on camera with these strange men before these strange directors are only replicating and reinforcing the pattern of that trauma. They replicate the trauma that has been placed upon them on the camera, right? And engage you to relieve yourself of your masculine spirit and identity and seed by watching this materialize on the screen before you. The adult industry is devilish. And if you have a look at what a lot of these mainstream companies are entitled, if you have a look at what these ladies call themselves, you know, as far as who they choose to title themselves as, you start to see a very devilish pattern within the linguistics of everything, within the corporate identities. It's a very, very, very weird and surreal business.
I mean, so like, my dad died when I was really young.
Right. As we said, I jumped into that. All due respect to the father, but we spoke on the absent father, whether they're dead or actually chose to leave. The end result is still the same. If that child does not receive the guidance, the governance, the direction, the love and the care of the father figure, we're going to try and find it elsewhere. And this goes for both men and women. So if we were to say a young boy, right, his father's been put in prison, what does he end up doing? He ends up getting put in prison or ends up dying himself because he looks for guidance in himself through the spirit of rebellion, given he doesn't find guidance in the street, given he doesn't find guidance in a masculine figure that might be of detriment to him. And it's more than likely going to be a detriment to him because he's going to find a parallel with other boys who have had absent fathers in their life, and he's going to find an in-group favour with these boys who are operating on a lower frequency to general society, right? They're going to act out, they're going to act emotional, they're going to be angry, because being raised by the mother, they will take on that feminine energy. They will believe what is right is the guidance of this femininity and this emotional instability, right? And they will project it as anger, and they will go out and they will kill other young boys and other young men that look like them. We see this with gang crime. They are symbolically killing themselves and their father by killing those who reflect the mirror image of themselves. And we don't know until we get out of the game and we mature, but most of these kids die young before they have any inkling of understanding of self. And it's a sad and bleak situation. So the young lady grows up without a father figure. The child inside her yearns for that father figure. She looks for daddy. Who does daddy end up being? He ends up being a pimp. All right? Through one means or another. It might not necessarily be within the sexual market, literally. But she will look and find comfort under that which fulfills the void which never was. Okay?
So
she pacifies, rubs the back of her neck to soothe the cortisol, the stress release that is now surging within her brain.
having to overcome my dad passing away and then dealing with like hardly ever seeing my mom because she was working all the time, and then having to deal with all of that. I feel like I've overcome a lot.
Yeah.
Put some respect on that, by the way. Put some respect on that. You know, mother was always working, doing the best she could do. Father, unfortunately, had a little bit of a bad run and isn't with us no more. You got to put some respect on that. There is strength And you can't blame people for taking the paths they do. You can't blame people for being alcoholics. You can't blame people for turning to the needle. You can't blame people for being violent. You have to learn yourself how to maneuver and navigate and understand these people in your society so you can deal with them appropriately. But you have to learn to not cast such depth of judgment upon them, because that judgment you cast might be a repression of self you are projecting upon them. But that's a story for a different time.
I see that for you, even though we don't hang out much. I really,
You know, and we men know, societally speaking, at least in the Western world, where overt violence is lesser, people in their inert, or at least men in their inert aggressive nature, take that violent tendency, that violence that exists within the man, that aggressive tendency within the man, that aggressive energy, and given he can't project it outwards, he projects it inwards. And he starts to hurt himself, arguably to the point of suicide in a lot of cases. So it's very serious business, you know?
really do respect you. I feel like you are a really strong person that has a good level head.
Look at what we're seeing here. We're seeing the teacher, we're seeing the governor, we're seeing the lecturer, we're seeing the mature figure here on the left, and we're seeing the child upon the right. And they're not that different in age, by the way.
That is capable of anything.
Yeah, of course. I feel like she's a really strong person, and she's very sweet.
But pay attention as well. That which poses as strong is weak, and that which poses as weak is strong. Okay? Arguably, it could be theatrical and manifest through the spirit of the persona, which is the art of war. Act weak when you're strong and strong when you're weak. War is based upon deception. But people aren't doing that. People aren't doing that. But you know what I mean? I thought I'd just throw that one on there.
And very kind.
I've definitely had to overcome quite a lot as well. My parents got divorced when I was really young, and my mother was extremely ill for most of my life. She struggled with a lot of drug abuse and stuff like that. I lost her quite a few years ago, and then I lost my sister in January this year.
I didn't know that like they had lost their mom. I didn't know that they had lost their...
It's nice that they're opening up to each other and getting it out there, right? There's some particular energy. So we've spoken as men manifesting our reality by keeping our desires inside ourselves until we create it a tangible, externalized reality, right? As we speak about it, we spread those seeds, we loosen the ties that makes it, able to create. Whereas when it comes to these negative energies, when it comes to that which we are holding back, when we hold it deep down inside, it weighs us down. When we release it and we express it, we do rid ourselves, albeit momentarily, of the pain and the weight as to which it creates. Now, with that being said, you have to be conscious of whether it be the right time to express this energy, because those whom you discuss with are going to take on some degree of the weight of that. Have you ever met a negative person who just speaks to you about negative stuff and you find yourself taking on that emotional weight? Have you ever known an angry man who's spoken to you angrily and then you've taken that aggressive, angry energy and expressed that angry energy elsewhere, right? This energy does transfer, right? This emotional value does transfer.
Them just talking about it, I was like, oh.
So be always careful and ensure you are, engaging at the right time, at the right place, in the right context to ensure what you're trying to communicate is being sent to the right person at the right time.
Oh, ow, my heart. Like, I'm so sorry.
So it's been really tough with this stuff. Oh, don't cry. You're going to ruin your makeup. It's okay. I don't even know if I mentioned it to you, but
I'm not afraid to talk about things that have happened in my past, but it was definitely really...
I like this lady. I do like this lady. I think she's respectable. I think she's got her head screwed on. She comes across as mature, professional. And I do like how she is.
really interesting, and to hear a lot about what Cassie's gone through, and it's nice to know that we can kind of relate on some different things that relate to that too.
No, I was literally gonna grab her and I was like, oh, it's
Your
okay.
hands are so cool.
I got anemia. I'm always cold.
Right, moving onwards, we're going to see this guy get buried. So hold on tight, this is going to be a good one, yeah?
Thank you for watching. You can watch all body language breakdown videos, hours on hours of content, including the game I can't give here, via the Patreon. The link is in the description.